Hi everybody, I hope everyone is alright and fine. Had a nice weekend and a good start of the week. I see that we are live, so you should be good and the recording should be fine. So today we're gonna continue to build our cycle swap, let's call it like that. And yeah, so let's get started. If we have maybe a look before we jump in the code at where we stand at, I think I got that here. So where we were already connecting the wallet, we had seen permission, account, and all those kind of things. But what we want to do is we said, okay, we don't want to have an approval for a constant value. We want to implement in the UI the ability to tell how many ICP we want to convert to cycles, and we want to implement a UART feedback that tells the user how many cycles convert to one ICP, right? Before jumping in the effective implementation of the backend. And last week we started this implementation, so if I start my environment, so here I'm starting the backend, here I'm starting the dapp we are building, and here I'm starting the wallet we are using locally. So if we have a look where we stand, so if I sign in here, I can start the process, connect the wallet, then here I sign in the wallet I want to connect, blah blah blah, I accept the permission, and then they will read the accounts and balance and so on. So account, balance, we did that last week, and now we have a field where we can enter the amount in ICP, but we don't display yet the cycles, and that's what we want to finish this week. So amount of cycles. So if we have a look at the code, what did we do? Yeah, if I remember, we had a worker, and in that worker that runs periodically, right? We say that we want to send the information of the try-on ratio, which allow us to convert one ICP to one cycles. We want to sync that on the front end, and for that purpose I think we should have done something like not wait 2 seconds. Or did we not do that? No way. I was sure that we already implemented it. Funny. So let me check that. We don't have fetch. Ah yeah, you see, we did that. So what we did is we have that sync function here. That's what we are interested in. Okay, here it is. So here we have it, and then from our backend worker we send to the UI a message, and in the UI we have that conversion rate. Nice. So if I open this here, we even see it right here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to convert this value here using this value there to cycles. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I will search for the amount here, and here we're gonna say let cycles, and this one will derive, I would say, the amount and this here. And because I don't like to reinvent the wheel, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump in the code of Juno, and we have where I have a top-up modal, and the top-up modal has a form, and in that form I input ICP and I get cycles. So I just gonna, that way I can just copy the code. You see here we have a function ICP-to-cycles. So let's take this. Do I already have this here? I don't think so. We have cycles to ICP, but we don't have ICP to cycles. So I'm gonna add ICP to cycles, which takes an amount and ICP in number, that trillion ratio, and what it does, it does ICP multiplied by the trillion ratio. Nice. So if I got it right, we're gonna do non-nullish and tac and tac. Yeah, we can basically take this one. So converted cycle can be calculated if we got a value as conversion, if the user amount is a valid number, and I should probably inverse those fields, but yeah, doesn't matter. And in that case, we're gonna do this, that, and the trillion ratio gonna be this. All right. And then we want to display it. Interesting. Do I display that here? So input ICP value converted cycle display. We probably want to display the cycles not as a plain number, because if I do that, I'm probably gonna have some numbers like, I don't know, like a large number. You see, like, it's not really readable. So we probably want to display something like 4.9 or something like that. So to format the cycles, we're gonna take these two, and I'm not sure we have that function here. Interesting, we have it already. Let me check if it's the same. Same, right? Yeah. So what we do is, if those are converted, we format like that, and then we display the value. So what we do is the number, so we have took the ICP, we have multiplied by the conversion rate, and now that we have that conversion rate, we go in it, and what we do is we take the cycles and we divide them by 1 trillion. That way, if everything looks good, yeah, shit happens. right? So here, if I do 1.5, we see that I got a nice conversion, right? Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. We're gonna check. Yeah, maybe I don't have like the same ratio with my local replica and production, so I cannot really convert. But we're just gonna assume that it's gonna work, and once we're gonna be live, we're gonna be able to tweak that, right? But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So let's merge this. Display, convert, and display cycles. Right. Okay. And did I add a to do here? Okay. So we got this, we got that. The next things we want to do is, like, even though I have an input field here, that's really ugly, but yeah, we don't use yet this entry to make the approve. If I do that here, you see I still have 0.5 ICP, while here I want to approve probably 12 ICP, and we also want to approve 12 ICP plus the fee, because we are really picky and we don't want to pay for them. So what we're gonna do is, here I have user amount, right? So that's what the user introduced, so we will need to bubble that, I guess, here. So let's declare an interface. So user amount gonna be a string, and we gonna do let user amount equals bindable this props, and this here, so should be good. But then in the approve mask, I gonna add the state, right? And here I gonna bind it. Super. And now, so now when I enter the input here in the parent component where I have the button, I have access to the value. So since I have access to the value, I can use it, right? Okay. But before using it, maybe we want to ensure that first it's not 0, and it's maybe smaller than the account balance, right? Because we do display the account balance, if I remember correctly. So let's do that. Okay. And here again, I think I have a function in Juno that we can use. So there should be something like assert whatever. I don't have that somewhere. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So we're gonna copy it over, and then we're gonna look what it does. So I take that, and so to some extension it's just ICP, so I can just convert to A8S and then go, alright, just gonna be this. But it's always like, you always have to play with decimals, because one token at that much decimal and it wants at that much, and yeah, it's kind of nice to have like a function to do that. So token, all right. And here we gonna have a look at the fee later, or no, let's put it that. So for the token amounts, I'm gonna take that from definity utils. Okay, so we don't care about this. We have a toast, I think, right, which also accept data. So here your balance is balance is undefined or null. So what we do here, if the balance of the current account is undefined or 0, we throw an error, or we display an error and we say that's not valid. Then we do the same for the amount. If the amount is not defined, we say no amount provided. Okay. Then we want to convert that amount, which is a string entered by the user, into an ICP token. And that's this one. So what does it do? It takes that string, which by the way cannot be undefined in our case, but yeah. So we can remove this. And it uses that utility from definity utils, which takes that amount as a string and converts it based on the token that you pass, and a token is basically the definition from a token. So in our case, we are using ICP, so the symbol gonna be ICP, the name ICP, and the decimal gonna be 8. But if that would be, I don't know, like I think USDT is 6 decimal, so here I would have like 6 decimal, and then it will automatically convert that amount that is entered by the user in a human readable way into a proper struct that I can use. A bit like a big number, kind of, on Ethereum. Alright, and then it's also assert if there is an error. If there is an error, return undefined, otherwise it casts the token. And so here we have the token or undefined, and if it's still undefined, we say cannot convert I don't know. Cannot convert amount to token. Yeah, that probably doesn't mean anything for a user, but let's use that. And then I think it's the final test. So now we know that the balance is positive. We know that the amount can be parsed. We know what's the real value of the amount. We need to know if the user has enough balance. And given that the fee are always in addition, so for example, if I transfer 10 ICP, it's 10 ICP plus the fee. We can do something like, I don't know if it's clear, but balance minus fee should be bigger than what I want to transfer, and in that case I convert to token 8. So here valid amount not enough balance. Alright, and if everything is fine, I return true and I say that's the value. Right, and the fee here, so we want a default fee. So in that case here I use 10,000. So do I have this already? No. So let's add it to, I guess I have that. Oopla. Yes, so we also gonna add this. Okay, So the default fee is 0.0001, and here we're gonna do so const result equals assert, and here we pass the amount, which is the user amount, and the balance, which happens to be here, but we don't expose it to the parent, so we're gonna do the same. We're gonna add props, balance, bindable, undefined. Okay, tac, and here we set it so that now here, similarly to the user amount, we can have balance, and here do a bind on the balance, and now here we have the balance. Okay, and now here we can check if the result is valid, so we do if that's a boolean, yeah, so if not valid, yeah, you see that I speak French, that's nice. We return, so we don't have to throw or whatever, since everything like toast are obfuscated in that utils. Alright, so let's just test that. Okay, I'm gonna close this one. Alright, so I connect. Okie dokie. So if I enter 0 and I click, I should have an error. And I don't. Okay, so let's debug that. Okay, so what do we have here? User amount and balance, right? Alright, so 0. We have 0 and 6 and 7, so which sounds good. Ah, but user amount is already. Why was already? I think it's because we have different types of values, because this is a text. Why do I get strange? Let's debug further. So but we don't have a check that says that we don't want 0. Yeah. Really? But no, we have it here. Balance. But not on the amount. All right. So if let's do here. If token amount dot 2a suite equals 0, we're gonna say amount cannot be 0. Should be better. Alright, 0. Okay. Then bigger than what we want, not good too. Then we're gonna put tac, and this works. Nice. Okay. So we are good. So we are checking the value. But now we are checking it, but here we are still passing 0.5, right? So what we want to do is I will commit the approve. So it's assert amount and balance. Let's call it like that. And no, what? No, not that big, but if you look at closer, they are really big. All right, so yeah, what we want to do now is we want to pass the amount, a large amount, as large as my ears. All right, so what we want to pass here is not 0.5 ICP. We just want to take the token amount and do 2A with A8S, and if everything goes according plan, so now I'm gonna pass 234, right? And here we have 234. Woohoo! Super! And the other ones will be set, blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna correct that, and we have the approval fee that is at the top. I wonder if we should double the fee. Yeah, because there is the fee for the approval, and yeah, but we can pay, I guess, off. Yeah, it's probably in our, we do one approve, and here we're gonna do one transfer. And there might be one fee here and one fee there. So we're gonna keep like that. That's something we can assert. That's gonna be interesting to know once we get there. So I will add a to do here. And should we double the fee? One fee for the approval and one for the effective transfer in the backend. That's something we can check another day. Woo! All right. So good. It use amount. So it's cool and everything, but there is always a gotcha. You see now, what we do right now is we say, can the swap use 12 ICP forever? And yeah, that's probably not what we want, particularly that here in our use case there is like a direct, I want to trade ICP for cycles, for computation power, and I want that now. So we probably want to have a time frame, right? So let's set, I don't know, like 5 minutes. All right, so let's check. Here we need to pass expires at. Do we have some documentation for this field? It's an ICRC 1000 stem, nice. And so that's a number, that should be a big int, yeah. So the documentation is wrong here. Let's just correct it once we are here, because if you don't mind, otherwise I will forget. So where does that come from? That's funny. Wait, where are we? Ledger converters, ledger ICP. So ledger converter, I said, right? here and row request here. Ah, there you see. So what did we say? Expires at. Ah no, it's the compiler. It's a bug in WebStorm. Nice, because here we just said timestamp, and timestamp is no, that's the error. Sorry, WebStorm, you are super. So the error is that this is that, and where do that even come from? All right. Okay, I need to review that whole documentation. Great. So anyway, we need to pass a big int. And the big int is when the set is greater than the current ledger time. So we want the time, and then we want to add something. So I think we have a utils too in ICGS that is like now in something. Now, right? No begin nanoseconds. So this gives us the time. So this would be now, I guess. And then we want, for example, 5 minutes, 60,000, right? I think, you tell me if it's wrong. Right. So, okay. So let's see what it does. Yeah. Ready? Tuck. So the allowance will be sent to 10 ICP until this transaction has been executed. Previous signature of expiration Monday 10 February at but I guess it's UTC time. Ooh, no, it's not 5 minutes since it's the same minutes. Did I miss like 1,000? No way. Really? Yeah. So Monday, tata, and here we say we have 5 minutes. And you see the good things about that is that the provider or the dapp, so in that case me, I mean you kind of got some guarantee that you don't get a blank check with some ICP. You just give something like for right now. And in real case I would probably even use less than that. In this use case, it should be like less than a minute. It should be just executed now. But yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna make a constant here, const 5 minutes. All right, and this is good. Yeah. So I like when things start to adds up. It's nice. All right. Ooh, no. I'm gonna close this one before I do something stupid. set expires at okay. Kate, no. All right, so where are we? We can do this. Some ICP. Right, and then the wallet's gonna approve those blah blah, and we approve, and then we are back here. But now we want to trigger the serverless function, right? So we have two solutions actually. So one solution is we just had an API endpoint to our satellites that says start the swap or whatever, and then it does the job. Or we can actually use a document, save something, and then hook on that. And I kind of like this idea because we can potentially, it would be interesting to track the request, you know, like, because if it fails, one user might say, hey, I want to be refunded, that did not work out, if we don't implement like an automatic refund. So maybe we can do something like this actually. So I'm gonna, let's move this a bit like this. Oh, like that. Yeah, works better if I keep that like this, like that, and this, move that here. But actually that's not absolutely correct, so let's improve our schema. Yeah, I can move it. So what we did is not cycle.watch. Yeah, kind of it is, but client. What we did is we implemented everything in the client side, so until now. And what we're gonna do is, that's in the browser, but no, oopla. What we're gonna do is implement the sync in the satellite, right? So there and here I should take those. We did that actually. That's a bit more clear, I think. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, maybe it's not as cute, but it explains a bit better what we want to achieve. So what we want to do now is we want to start the swap, but by registering an event. Say, okay, we have done an approve. Now we want to make we want to request. Yeah, let's call it a request. We want to request the swap. So this will answer. What did I press? This will answer instantly when ready. But then what it's gonna do is this one. will call it itself, right? And then when it will call it, it will do the transfer, it will do the top up, and oh yeah, this was here, and every time this fails or something like that, we're gonna write and update the request state. That way we can track of which one succeed or which one does not succeed. And to do the request, actually we're just gonna use what's already in place to do that here. Let's put it in. So this part here is the serverless function, and we use the collection and the data store of Juno to do that. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, all right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a collection for this. So I go Juno. Oh, I need to run my local environment, so I run Juno locally, the console, right? And I don't remember so it's, what is it? DLBND. So do I have DLBND here? Of course, I have like zillion of those, so it's difficult to see, but I don't think so. Cycle watch local DC, CCCC, and demo is DNB. Okay, so this is the one that we monitor, and cycles itself, we're gonna say it's installed here in these satellites, which probably, yeah, you see, that's the one we have. So we're gonna create a collection. So we already have settings, we already have the things, and now we're gonna call that request, swap request, cycles request. Yeah, why not? So let's call it cycle request. Why not? And we want the one that creates it to be able to read it. They can also write. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's start like that. We can probably tear it. All right, so here, so what we want to do is we want to have a type. So we're gonna call it cycles request, right? And in the cycle request, we're gonna put how many ICP? I guess so. ICP amount. It's gonna be a big int. And because here, what do I get back? Block 8. Do we need the block 8 of the approve? I don't think we need it right now. Ooh, But maybe we can just give the block 8 and then we retrieve the amount with the block 8 in the backend, you know, like instead of saying so much, we actually consume the whole block 8. That could be interesting. Let's have a look. I always forget what's the canister, what's the ID of the ICP ledger canister. I don't know. Wait, alright, my machine is becoming a bit slow. Yeah, the worst is that I documented it, so I don't know why I go in the code, but alright, here. So account balance, blah blah blah, balance of query blocks, start, end. Query blocks. Do I use that in Juno? Yes. And what do I get? We get a response. Oh yeah, but that's overcomplicated to start doing these things here. And what do we get? We get a response that contains a certificate, the block. Yeah, but we're not gonna have like the transaction. Oh. And here in the amount we're gonna from spender expires fee, but we don't have the amount. I'm drunk. So amount for mint, amount for burn, amount for transfer, and here I don't have the amount. Okay. Yeah, so transfer from. All right. Then let's just use ICP amount. And yeah, so we gonna put that in a service because that would be a bit nicer. So let's call it, we have a wallet. So we're gonna have, we're gonna call that, it's not wallet really, it's more, that's for the wallet. And we're gonna add to do, so because it's already lit. So what we're gonna do is to do, I will do that this week. I'm gonna extract approve function to wallet.services because it's clean to have like the UI part and the services split, that way it's reusable. Then I will create a swap.services in which I implement a function to do both approve and the request. Then next week in the call we implement the request, we initialize the server function, and we do the effective transfer of the amount of ICP. So we try to do this and that next week. This way we are here. Okay? Yeah, sounds good. All right. So I hope it was interesting. As always, if you have any question, ping me everywhere, and I'm always happy to help. So enjoy your week and see you next time.